And ladies and gentlemen, we are running a bit short of time, so we have a long way to go. And so we now move into the next panel discussion very quickly. And this panel discussion should be of interest to all of us. We have seen the investment portion of it, and now we are going to see the role of plug-and-play technologies in enhancing efficiencies of broking firms. These plug-and-play technologies are mainly user agnostic. They can be used by intermediaries or by insurers as well. And even within the intermediaries, I think it is channel agnostic. It is available for brokers, corporate agents, you name it. So these are the Insurtechs which we highlighted in the initial session that we would be showcasing here, and we have a few of them, some brilliant minds out here. And the moderator for the panel would be Indranil Chatterjee, co-founder and chief operating officer at RenewBuy. Welcome on stage, Indranil. A round of applause. Are you too tired? The first panelist I would invite is Kunal Popat, co-founder IMT Care. Kunal started off in insurance distribution, but then I think the technology bug bit him and he recognized the problems an intermediary faces. And so he branched off into technology solutions. The outcome, he co-founded IMT Care that helps brokers find customized group health and wellness solutions, of which you'll hear from him more. Our second panelist, as I said, these plug and plays are user agnostic. Our second panelist is an insurer, possibly the most important part of the insurance ecosystem. I invite Sri Narendra Kamath, Vice President, Commercial Lines, Products and Strategy, ICICI Lombard. On stage, please. Welcome. Welcome. Narendra has rich experience in the insurance sector, encompassing CRM, digital sales, channel management, and marketing. It will be interesting to hear an insurer's viewpoints on collaboration between tech providers, brokers, and insurers themselves. Next, we have Shania Shroff, founding team member of AllRight, a platform that aims to revolutionize the way commercial insurance underwriting and placements are done. AllRight empowers brokers and insurers with AI-driven tools for faster, smarter, and more secure decision-making. Welcome, Shania. Last but not the least, we have Vaibhav Singh, the young co-founder and managing director of Visit Health, a state-of-the-art Visit app empowers corporates with customized health solutions and their employers' dependents with a single platform for managing OPD and wellness needs. Visit works with over 400 corporates and 4,500 SMEs across a wide spectrum of industries. So we would love to hear from them before lunch. Food for thought first.
The business, right? Whether it's from origination to servicing to claims, we have been using multiple layers of technology. The layer of, or rather the state of evolution also varies from player to player. However, when you look at it from your individual perspective, maybe I'll start with you now first. How do you see the insurance market in itself evolving in terms of evolution of distribution technology to further customer experience and thereby grow the market?
Right. Thank you, Narendra, for asking this. So basically, I think the gears for the insurance intermediaries shifted really after the COVID times. Before the COVID times, if you see, the industry was working pretty much in the same fashion. But after COVID, the intermediaries changed gear and started going digital. If you see the plug-in technologies, they are playing efficient role in reaching out to customers. I think I've been in the role of an intermediary for like 15 years in my life. So the only thing which made me come into this side of building technologies, I felt that consumer is not aware about the coverages. Consumer, the brokers and agents, while they're selling policies, but right, if you heard in our fireside chat when Sir himself said that he did not know what is his mother, what is the sum insured, what is covered, what will be deducted. So these are the points which are troubling us as an industry, that customer has to be aware about policy. It has to be conveyed to him in simple terms and conditions, and technology is the best way to do it. I feel that I'll just give you a small example that how it can affect us in terms of employee benefit. Like that's the space we are working in. If you see that the most used feature on our platform is what is my coverages and what is my exclusions, even though it is conveyed multiple times by the intermediary, but it does not reach out to the employee at the last level. And at the time of hospital, when we see midnight, what is the more features used on our app is after downloading the cards, the second feature is what is covered. So we did a very simple thing कि हमने समझाया कि coverages simple language में we made them understand. We did not complicate what is room rent or what is this. We just used simple language to convert the jargons of insurance. So I think small things really matters on how technology can evolve for a consumer.
Sure. So Narendra, from while Kunal did enlighten us from a Insurtech's perspective, but when you look at it from a insurer's perspective, how do you see the market in itself evolving between the participation of Insurtechs, brokers, and insurers to grow the ecosystem?
I think there's no denying the fact that among the G20 countries, insurance as a segment is bound to grow, and I think technology is a part of that. So you cannot isolate technology to attain that growth. That's the way we look at it, and the trends are again in the same direction. Let me answer this question a bit differently. Try and make an attempt to connect. When you look at the entire insurance industry, I can cite you a couple of use case in that sense. So we have an app called IL Take Care. Close to 1.3 crore people have downloaded this. They see, lot many things in that. In the sense, I'm not sure how many people know about this. There's a concept called face scan technology. So basically, what it means is you open the app, put the camera in front of you, and then scan your face. The camera scans your face, and you're able to get 6 readings, including blood pressure, saturation, respiratory rate. So these are 6 vital parameters. Now, in the same app, you can actually do a doctor consultation. You can chat with the doctor. You can assess your policies. You can do a lot many things from a usage perspective or engagement perspective. Second, we have something called as telematics. You are today able to kind of deploy OBD ports in your car to kind of understand how well you drive, and basis how well you drive, I'm able to kind of give you a personalized offering in that sense. Today we are also looking at AI differently in the sense. When you look at claims, you're deploying AI to settle claims in a matter of minutes. Minute rather, not even a minute, it's minute. Now, these are something from a product angle. To give a few more examples, when we come to the risk side of it, we are today assessing risk by using drones. It's technology after all, right? And then reports are AI driven again. We are using IoTs in risk assessments and management when it comes to marine cargoes of sorts. So you know exactly how your cargo consignment is moving on the roads, whether there is a pilferage, whether there is a detour by the driver or something of the sort. So you have host of things. Whatever I've been telling you, there are 2 things in common. There is value. If you look at everything from IL Take Care to AI, there is value for the customer. Second, I think the most important critical aspect is the ecosystem. Today, if you look at when you're even onboarding a policy, you need a vendor to kind of do a KYC of sorts. You need a vendor or a partner to kind of do a moral hazard for you of sorts. Everything is real time embedded into your digital application. So this is something that is inevitable. When you look at value has to be kind of generated for the customer and for the distribution as well, because it has to be a win-win for all, right? And when it comes to the ecosystem, as I said, you have a IL Take Care app. You need partners in that space to give you that, so that you are able to meaningfully stitch a proposition of that. I think as long as you're able to deliver this, distribution will be successful, is what we feel. And when it comes to the way you reach out to the customer. You've got enough tools, you've got APIs to integrate, you've got, shall I say, company level tools to actually onboard customers and manage, services at side as well. So two things is what I feel is pretty critical in the sense, value and the ecosystem play.
Thank you, Narendra. Shanay, from a broker's perspective, when we evaluate any kind of plug and play technologies outside of the semantics of the word plug and play, which is very obvious, how do you foresee plug and play technology in itself reshaping the way we brokers work amongst ourselves and with the insurers? What are the various layers we can possibly seek to address through these technologies?
So with Alright, what we felt was that while the retail space for brokers offered technological solutions, the commercial side was not really being catered to for brokers. So that's where Alright came in, where we're essentially digitizing and streamlining the placement process for brokers on the commercial side. So this is where we felt the need was, because we saw and we got feedback from brokers that everything was happening manually through emails, like from the RFQ generation to the insurance company and then coming back on email. And there was no systematic method that was being followed. So we saw the opportunity to build a common platform between brokers and insurance companies where the RFQ can be generated from our system in a few simple steps. It can be sent to the insurance company. When it comes back, you have an apple to apple quote comparison report which comes in. So it's a simple, in the sense, it's not simple, it's a complicated technology we develop, but it solves a key issue which was happening over email, but now it can happen through the platform. So, and it's simple in a way because there is no major investments brokers have to do to develop a system themselves, but they can benefit from such plug and play technology and really introduce them into their workflow to create value. And also we saw that there is so much scope for AI to augment each layer of the workflow. So for example, we were delving into situations where you upload your previous policy. AI pulls out the data and instantly fills up your RFQ details. You can make whatever minor changes, send it ahead. And we also saw that for brokers to better service their clients, we developed a gap analysis tool where it tells you for each product what covers you should have, what you don't have. So it's really adding value for the client, which is what we want the brokers to focus on. So the vision is that while Alright will take care of your backend, we want the brokers to really connect with their client and provide maximum value to their client. So that was the vision behind Alright. And we're seeing that brokers are embracing this solution because there is a genuine need in the market. And obviously there are some hurdles, but we see that with time, brokers are realizing the need to invest in technology and plug and play solutions.
Right. Thank you, Shanay. Vaibhav, just turning on to you, your solution is probably less insurance. It's probably more holistically health. When you seek to partner along with either insurers, and with brokers, how do you present the opportunity and, how do you think that we as brokers can integrate with your solution or similar solutions to offer a more holistic, offering to the customer?
Sure. So essentially two things. As a company, while we are known for, while the Visit app is pretty much known on the Play Store or the App Store is what the end customers use. But as a company, what we have created is the entire tech stack for all the relevant stakeholders. So it's be it a corporate, a broker or an insurer. And especially in the industry we operate in, which is on the primary healthcare, which was pretty much pre-COVID, not very well seen. And everything was clubbed under a wellness category, a cost center for a broker or an insurance company. But post-COVID, when the regulatory changes happen and now there is an opportunity to be, to gain financially out of it also for all the stakeholders, that is where I would see the entire market has picked up. Now, coming back to your point, as our solution, what we have seen that majority of the brokers or the corporates, they kind of, the problem which they face is in the entire benefits management, which is, let's say, just giving a very small example. When you have a corporate, when you have an employee joining the organization, probably it will take 30 days for an HR to send the Excel file for enrollment, for addition and deletion, right? And then probably after 7-10 days, when the insurer endorses, that is when it reaches to us for the benefits to get activated. Why in IPD that is okay, because the seriousness, in terms of the frequency of those claims are not going to be that high. But when you are offering something like a primary healthcare, which is our day-to-day health management on an OPD side or a health checkup side, waiting for 35, 40 days for an employee might not be the best scenario to be in. So that is where what we have done is we have lent our entire technology integrated directly with their HRMS solutions for the corporates. So it's a real-time addition deletion which happens. There's a lot of reconciliation which gets removed. And that is where it helps the corporates, the HR folks to take care, to not invest their bandwidth in doing this manual work. Similarly, on the broker side, what we are doing with the brokers, we are offering our entire enrollment and flex benefits tool. So nowadays, it's not one size fits all, and the corporates are coming up, or the corporates or even the insurers, they're coming up with different categories of plans, which seeing the different cohorts of their people, they would want to invest in. It has nowadays, the progressive corporates, they've become like a Dream 11 wallet, right? So you have 100 points and you can pick and choose what benefits you want. If I am a 25, 30-year-old age guy, I probably don't need a maternity care at this point of time. I would rather use that budget which my corporate has in taking a gym membership, or probably taking an OPD plan, or probably doing a doctor consultation or something on those lines. So for you to do that, you really need to be very accurate and you really need to be very fast in doing that. I mean, in execution of that piece. So we offer our entire enrollment endorsement tool for the brokers, which from where they can manage everything in terms of flex benefits and further that is linked with the HR dashboard, which they can also use for uploading a direct Excel file, which can endorse, show you the CD balances, make the right calculation. If you want to send reminders to your employees who have not opted in, who have not, enrolled in or checked in, or they want to add dependents, all these ecosystems are very much important for us. And what the outcome at the end of the thing is what we see, what an end user is using. But behind that, there is a lot of tech stack which is enabling all these stakeholders to, to take a step forward and finally creating that outcome on the end beneficiary side. So these are the things which we are doing, offering insurers and corporates. When we started OPD, that point in time, very few insurers, they had been doing OPD. A lot of insurers who are now the key players in the standalone OPD insurance, they were not pretty much significant back in 2018 or 2019. And obviously, they didn't have the claims mechanism, the adjudication tool and everything, so rather than us waiting for them to develop, what we did, we started developing things and we deployed in multiple insurance companies, which is linked to the broker ecosystem, the HRMS, our entire visit app, which is used as a consumer. So whole set of ecosystem play where a technology for all is needed for the end beneficiary to get that benefit of real-time activation, real-time analytics, real-time health reports. So these are the things which we do at the backside of it, where we are working with brokers and empowering them, enabling them to manage the health benefit structure, policy management, which in turn the outcome is for the end beneficiaries.
Right.
So these are, that's with us.
Kunal, a question for you. As you, given that there is a plethora of such offerings already in the market and more are coming as new opportunities are getting discovered, and these are all fitting into existing ecosystems of insurers and the brokers, each of whom have their own separate workflows. And of course, the corporates, they have their own separate workflows. Now, in this whole world, from us brokers being able to adopt such technologies, what are the challenges that we are more likely to face? Because these are complex workflows. I mean, you also don't want to get into something which becomes so difficult to implement that you lose patience after 6 months of hit and trial. So how do you go about solving these?
So we have worked with more than 50 plus brokers as of now in the past 4.5 years of time. So technology is simple. We try and make it complicated, is that what I feel. So, what we truly believe as a company, that there are two aspects that we are focusing on. One is the intermediary, that is the broker insight, and second is the consumer engagement. So when we are deploying technology, we look at these two critical aspects, and we also talk to our intermediaries in the same way that we want to try and deploy something within your ecosystem. And there are a lot of things which we do. We do training modules. And if you see our dashboard, it's pretty simple to start, and we have got that feedback from a lot of our customers that there are not 100 buttons. So we said you don't need 100 buttons. There are two things that you need, and there are two things that your consumer needs. So we might as well focus on that. So as I said, when to put it in a simple word, that when I'm talking about intermediary insights, I'm sure that all these brokers are insuring millions of lives when they're talking about employee benefits. But how many of them are converting those millions of lives into their retail consumers? How many of them are talking about because we heard in our previous chats also that employee benefit is a bleeding portfolio. Some are working on 0, some are working on 5. How many of the brokers are thinking differently? When I say that, like I can tell you that 50,000 employees are having a sum insured of 5 lakhs. Why don't you offer them a top up via technology with some simple tools and you get insights? I can tell you that people are in which pin code, they are in which corporates and what kind of. So these are the AI or ML technological insights which people are really looking for nowadays in scaling the business. And as far as the consumer engagement is concerned, I feel that consumers, most of the consumers are coming only to the platform for the claim, 7 or 8%. I guess in case of OPD that must be pretty much higher, but in case of IPD, so how do you engage with those consumers? Most of the brokers we heard at the time of renewal, it's always about the price which they are fighting on in terms of employee benefit. So how do you talk to those last mile of employees and win their trust so that they should go to the HR and tell that, look, I don't want to change this broker because I'm completely glued as far as my employee benefit is concerned, my retail insurances are concerned, and also in some certain cases, right, like they are doing a fantastic job in converting the customers in case of healthcare also. So it's one ecosystem which I believe that IPD, OPD, retail health, it boosts your consumer. So that's important, and that's I think we have to understand that how we can improve our retention and revenue with that.
Thank you. Narendra, when you look at it from an insurer's perspective, again, actually asking the same question, what are the typical challenges you as an insurer would face in integrating such, varied degree of Insurtech level solutions into your ecosystems?
Fundamental things, we've been doing a lot of integrations. I think what we've realized is that communication is very critical and trust is the two benchmark, because still today corporates and customers, they are a bit choosy when they share their personal data of sorts. So today if you look at a simple group health, everybody will kind of agree that corporates are not okay in that sense to kind of give access to their HRMS systems. So even if you have a solution, integrating them is a bit of a challenge. So that's one part of the solution. So I think we address these concerns by actually going to them with use cases and to give them a larger picture to say, what is the outcome of this kind of an integration? What are the kind of value you will be putting on the table for the client, your employees and stuff like that. Second, when we look at a solution, when we spoke about value, I think the biggest challenge is to curate a meaningful proposition. That's the biggest challenge as per me, because you have underwriting, you have actuary, you have business, you have technology, you have claims, a lot many things coming into the scheme of things. Internally, when you look at things the way it is, curating a meaningful win-win proposition is not a joke. It really requires a lot of effort. I think what we have basically done to address this kind of a challenge is, we've curated teams which are kind of, shall I say, short, agile teams, very small teams where they have a short span to kind of come up with curated product propositions. So you're able to sit together and derive a solution that can be integrated with your technology platforms. So that's work for us. Incidentally, to kind of give you a sense, we have a specific team which is called a digital team, which is kind of independent from the core operations of sort. And I think in the last couple of days, we are traditionally known as, insurers with a kind of, 19 years of experience in that sense. But when it comes to digital, I think we proved on many times that, integrations with Ola, which was kind of unimaginable, in that sense, kind of integrating a 1 rupee product in your, Ola app. That's something which is kind of groundbreaking for us in the sense. That's when we kind of, realize that there is a lot many things to kind of develop. So today, we are able to kind of deliver propositions in a short span of time, technologically. Last, I think what we learned is that, one solution cannot be a fit for everyone. I think there has to be a continuous feedback mechanism to understand whether that value is actually being delivered on the ground or not, and to what extent it is being delivered to. I think these are something that we, kind of continuously work on and try and see how we bring value to the customer as such.
Thank you, Narendra. Shanay, when you look at, in new technologies. I mean, technology is an ever-changing world. What was unheard of like 2 years back is suddenly main stage today in as the chat GPTs and the LLMs and the SHMs get implemented. When you look at the solutions that plug and play technologies provide to brokers, how are these new emerging technologies getting baked into the solution making process such that we as brokers also get the advantage of using it without us being technology experts in the first place?
So I think everyone has realized that data is the next gold, or now data is the most valuable commodity we have. So basically through plug and play at Alright, what we want to do is we want to make sure that the data a broker has is being leveraged by the broker to create like a proprietary intelligence. So as mentioned before by another panelist, that we have so much data, but as brokers, how is that being used? Are we targeting the right geographies, the right demographies for the right kind of product? So using AI and ML, what we are trying to do is for each broker, firstly, we understand that data security is of utmost concern. So the module we follow is that we deploy the entire system on the broker server. And then on that system, the broker develops its own intelligence through machine learning. It understands what kind of policies are going through, what kinds of claims are being raised, what kind of gaps are being discovered later. So through AI, we're trying to insert AI at each stage of the workflow for the broker to automate tasks that were otherwise happening manually, to provide better analysis, to provide better analytics. So that's how we're trying to introduce AI and ML to create proprietary intelligence for each broker. And we're doing this across the commercial lines. So from your property, liability, marine and employee benefits as well, we're looking to really enable each broker to create their own proprietary intelligence using AI. So that's what we're looking to do.
And then, if I may repeat the same question for you, Vaibhav, because you have another added layer of complexity, which is the companies, the employers who are using some of your technologies. Two questions which are linked. One is, how is AI serving the customers that you serve? But more importantly, also to reflect back on Shanai's proposition on the fact that today, with the level of data security measures, etc., in play, how do you make sure that you are able to provide the solution and not, ending up creating a situation which is not tenable over a period of time because of these regulatory challenges?
So the first thing, definitely, as we discussed, all of us, that, nowadays one size fits all is no more a thing which anyone wishes to talk about, right? Even the HRs would want to have multiple cohorts. So you can only achieve that if you have a very strong data analytics or a AI engine, which is hand-holding the customer who's coming on your platform. And it's all a function of how deeply and how accurately you can understand your consumers who are coming on the platform. It should be something like a LinkedIn or a Facebook, if I may say so, that you and I both go to the same platform, but our feed is very different because our activities have been different. So that is when your engagement starts happening with those platforms. And then those platforms are much more, it acts like your health companion in the field which we are in, talking only about health. So that is, and obviously at the back end, we know which technology, all these technologies are the ones which are empowering these platforms to have that kind of personalization. And during the last panel also, when we were talking about customization at scale. So is your technology good enough to ensure that you are customizing at scale? Customization is one part of it. How quickly you are customizing is the another part of it, which helps you scale the entire piece. So how deeply you know the customer, how accurately you know it, and obviously how quickly you can tailor-make the solutions for those cohorts of people. So that is where the entire technology has to play a role. That is where the engagement opens up, as he was mentioning about during IPD and everything. There's a 7-8% engagement, and obviously it's a very monotonous kind of engagement which happens year on year. But when you have a broader solution, which is a mass solution, the engagement level increases, the data increases, and you're in a much better position as consultants to offer much relevant solutions to your clients, and not just talking about claims plus, maternity plus, IC plus kind of a conversation. So that shift we are seeing happening because these technologies are empowering the consultants now to talk much beyond that monotonous kind of philosophy. So that's
Narendra, turning to you from an insurer's perspective, as you look at various regulatory challenges, data and data security related challenges being on one side, insurance regulations, etc., being on the other side, how do you see conflicts emerging between, let's say, companies and brokers and insurtechs and insurers, and how do you see that process getting smoothened out and streamlined in the course of time?
See, when we deal with any of our clients and, shall I say, brokers, I think we have a proper data confidentiality agreement signed. So I think there is a legal recourse to it in terms of how we would like to handle our security. Second, we have a proper enterprise risk management framework, in the sense compliance is adhered to in terms of how we handle data and how we distribute data with our stakeholders as well. I think from that perspective, we are kind of holed up, and we don't see a compliance-related challenge in the way we handle things. Okay, so we are sorted on that side.
Okay. Kunal, as the market evolves, and this is something that we have seen in our own experiences as well, the market behaves very differently in the larger cities, behaves very differently in, as you go downtown classes. How do you see the InsurTech plug-and-play solutions evolving to manage the variation in the customer needs across town classes?
So, as you rightly said, actually employee benefits does not exist in tier 2 or tier 3 as far as I'm aware. Only people, the families who are covered. So, one pretty good request we had from one of our intermediary partners that, we want multiple languages on the platform. We said why? Because he said, my parents are there in some village and I made them download the app, but they can't read, what is covered. So that was a pretty good insight for us, that employees telling us that my parents, I have made them download the app so that they can look to nearest, hospitals, or they can have their own card in cases of emergency. So this was a very small thing which we did, like making all the languages available. But we felt that consumers to the last mile, tier 2, tier 3 are also using the technology, and they have also started now getting independent, which were earlier dependent on their members who are part of the organization and working in different cities. So I think small things really play a good role, and we can. It also gives us a larger opportunity to reach those consumers. As I said in my earlier chat also, that we would like to go more on a consumer approach, where connecting to a consumer is the main focus of our entire technology, because I feel that this is the major gap which is amongst all of the insurance intermediaries. If they are engaging their consumers in smaller ways, by sending them nudges, by sending them, campaigns, what really matters in that tier 2 or tier 3 town, by data intelligence, we can show that particular employee that, for example, even for that matter, government schemes that are available in that particular area, we can show them what is available, how you can get a free health cover by PM Modi scheme and all such things. So there are a lot of things which we intend to do by reaching to those consumers.
Right. Vaibhav, if I might ask the same question to you, because you are also touching customers across layers. How do you see the platforms kind of differentiating their offerings across the town classes, to make it easier for customers?
One of the things which you mentioned on the language side is pretty much, and the very interesting thing which we did with one of our large clients was the accessibility. So when you're talking about customers, they might not be at the same skill. So accessibility was another thing which really helped them in taking it to the masses, along with obviously the language barriers. And when you talk about large organizations, they have different plans. So you talk about SMT plan, that will be something different. And not only that, we are even able to customize the network around it. So just an example, a senior management team of a corporate, if they wish to see only hospitals for their annual health checkup, that the customization can be done at that end. So if you are able to bring customization and profiling at an individual level, that is only when you are able to see that, okay, my product is not only meant for the classes, it's for the masses. So that's where I think we are working on continuously.
Right.
If you see all these companies, the startups that I talked about, LinkedIn, Facebook, they're doing real-time customization, personalization of billions of people. So are we even close to that? I don't think so. But unless until we are thinking that, we are very far away from reaching the masses.
Right. Shanay, a question for you. In terms of when you are making these offerings available to brokers, what is the key challenge that you face in terms of adoption of technology in the market? What are the main problems that you face, and how do you go about solving them?
So I think what the major problem we face so far is a mindset issue where brokers feel that if my work is happening on Excel, I can email and then they'll email back. Then I'll sit manually and I'll have a big back-end team that will compare what 5 insurance companies have sent me, and I'll make a quote comparison manually. So brokers, at least we feel, it's changing, but they were fine. Like it's working. Why change something? But so what we're doing to solve that is by giving free demos. We're showing them how much better it can be. Because sometimes until you have a better solution, you're just fine doing what you used to do. But now with the way the world is progressing, I think brokers need to make that change to really make their operations more efficient, to reduce their operational risk. Because with emails bouncing up and down, there are no audit trails mentioned. There's no system in place. So by creating a platform, we're trying to show brokers the tangible benefits of having a quote, a request for quote being, what was take days can now be done in a matter of minutes, because we have preset fields for each product. So a most basic guy from a broker's office can go to the client, put in the details, get an indicative quote through our engine, show that to the client. So it's really adding value to the client. So we're seeing that when we're showing brokers these tangible benefits, when the quotes are getting processed much faster, that's when the broker's mindset is changing. So, and with that, with time, we know we will be patient, but with time, we're sure that change will happen and brokers will move on to a more sophisticated system.
Right. Yes, please.
I would like to add to this. So it's a very deep topic with me also, because
Very related.
deploying across a lot of partners. So brokers have the willingness to change, but it doesn't flow down the line throughout the organization, because like he said, they're too comfortable with Excel, they're too comfortable with their emails. But what these employees are not realizing that the world is changing rapidly. Like in the previous chat also, the investors clearly mentioned the next 10 years, it's going to be a complete change landscape in terms of insurance and technology. How fintech has evolved, nobody is using checkbooks these days. Mm-hmm. So we need to understand and we need to think in that particular direction, that all your consumers which are now coming up are Gen Zs or whatever terms you are using today, and they don't want them to be called. They just want everything on the WhatsApp or on the app. They don't want you to call them. And that's how it's going to work for the next 5, 10, 15 years. So as fast as we adapt technology, we think like how these next generation is thinking, it will be easy for us to evolve and grow. Otherwise, it is going to be a difficult time.
Just one more thing I'd like to add. So one of the things which
this is clearly a thing which strikes a chord.
Yeah. So one of the problems which I have faced is the IP lust. If you're creating something and you want to be deployed in multiple platforms, many times I've seen this challenge that the technology has to be who is owning the technology, who is owning the IP. So I have created something and I want it to be distributed across multiple brokers. But the moment you go to one broker, everything needs to be white label, everything needs to sit inside here, all the data is mine. So that concept which you have created, curated and created the platform, at times it merely comes down and gets diluted to a work for hire agreement. So that is one of the challenges which I see a friction coming between the ones who are creating versus the ones where it needs to get deployed. A tussle is happening. So let's see how we cross that bridge, cross that hurdle.
Interesting. I think, again, a question where I would probably seek inputs from everyone, and maybe you could start. As you see the industry evolve over the next 5 or 10 years, how do you see the usage of plug-and-play technologies, the sectors, and the implementation of all of these technologies to, basically all of us are working to increase the customer base. All of us have talked about insurance penetration being low, and all of us are trying towards it. So how do you see these plug-and-play technologies play a part in the pursuit of that insurance for all vision, by 2047?
So I believe a consolidation is something which is very much needed. And even when I'm talking from the demand side of it, the corporates are also looking at platform which can, and there are two schools of thoughts. One school of thought says that everything needs to be integrated on one platform, very similar to what a collective health does in US. You have an integrated platform and it has all the benefits linked to it, and depending on which category you fall into. But there are not many entry points. So restricting the entry points is something, one school of thoughts people have. And obviously the older school of thought has been that multiple broken and disintegrated systems, platforms, and partners will be there, and that has led to a lot of increase in the outflow of money and time investment. But when it comes to right decision making after a period of 12 months, 24 months, that is where people got stuck. So for us to, and as an ecosystem, to go very deep into it, consolidation is, I believe, is the way to go. Unless until we are very much, and if we let specialized people do their specialized task. Nowadays, if you see, there is a lot of blood lines. Health tech partners are getting into underwriting. Brokers are doing into something and can relate to it. So all of these, these lines are getting blurred, and that is where it's a little bit chaotic nowadays. But I'm pretty sure, with regulatory sitting all, on top of us, that thing will get those lines will get clear. So those things, these two important things, integration and being very specialized in what you're supposed to do, is something which will help. For short-term tactical goals, these are being used, but if it's being taken as a business model, it's where the concern comes in.
Chennai?
So the way I see it is that in the next 5 odd years, it's going to become a snowball effect where initially there may be resistance, but as brokers adopt technology and see the benefits of it, the brokers that do that will have a significant competitive edge, and then the rest of the market would look to follow suit soon after. So we see that, there's no denying the future is going to be more digitization using AI, using ML to really streamline operations. What 5 junior resources can do, probably 2 resources and AI can do the same amount of work. So brokers will see their costs going, like brokers who adopt to technology will see their costs going down. They'll be able to see faster output. So, and eventually then the market is going to have to follow suit. So the question is only which brokers at this point in time can foresee that and choose to invest at this stage. I think those brokers will be successful in the long run. So it's heading in one direction. The only question is whether they choose to join now or a few years later.
Narendra, how do you see it from the insurer side?
I think traditionally the way I put it is that the way people used to think was retail lines are the ones which will go digital, and the commercial probably might not come into the digital side of it. I think time and again many people have kind of proven that today we are selling commercial lines products on the web or on digital platforms. I think the way forward, what I see is that for the broking fraternity, I think this is something that is inevitable, and in the sense where the technology is going, AI, ML, data, how you kind of monetize data. These are some things that are inevitable. The sooner is, what is the timeline? Whether it is 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, that's what's something that the group here has to decide in that sense. From our perspective, what we would like to aid in the scheme of things is that to make propositions easier, convenient. Now, to give you an example, let me kind of give, quote. We have a concept called AI quote. In the sense, what we do is you give me a quote. In a matter of a minute, I'll give you a quote back by doing a OCR, running an AI model at the back end, and kind of giving you an equivalent quote. We are doing it for fire at the current instance. So it's convenience, right? So there is nothing much to do. So probably what one leg additionally we might add is that we spoke about policy benchmarking. We can probably give you another personalization of sort to say, you have bought this proposition. What are the alternative product propositions we can look at? Now, the fraternity here has to understand, kind of appreciate the fact that there is a concept called more per customer. So more per customer can be best administered by using digital platforms. So I think we are talking about a scenario to make it more convenient, acceptable, build trust, and see value. Till the time the fraternity doesn't see value in the scheme of things, it's going to be a slower pace. But I think the way things are going, people are appreciating the value on the table, and the clients are also demanding that, can we look at a simple digital platform in terms of the way you offer solutions, the way you do dashboards for them to kind of realize what are the kind of claims they have put in, what is the state of the claims, and then kind of see how you can service claims also online. So I think it's a matter of convenience and how fast you kind of accept it and kind of move on to say this is a reality. So that's what I need to say.
Kunal, how do you see?
So when we're talking insurance for all by 2047, I think there are two aspects. One is insurer. So of course, Lombard supports us greatly in terms of APIs, but there are a lot of other insurers, who are not as open as ICICI or Lombard in terms of supporting APIs when it comes for the intermediaries. Sometimes brokers must have witnessed it's taking like months to, integrate simple things. It gets so complicated. So when you want to increase the distribution, I think insurance companies have to be more accessible, and association also has to work in that direction where they direct these companies to make APIs simple for the intermediaries, because every broker here I think has the potential to become an industry leader like Policy Bazaar if they have their own platform, they have their own technology, and they can distribute across the country.
Right. Thank you. We would now like to open the forum up for questions from the floor, and we will. You can direct it to an individual or to everyone, and we can circulate it out.
I think everybody wants lunch.
You were mentioning about the blurring lines between the health tech providers or Insurtech providers and the insurance contentious topic. That's when we started this session, Bala sir had just mentioned about that. That's a gray area, and even many broker members are worried about Insurtechs getting funding for a technology service and then becoming an intermediary and just trying to disrupt the market and everything. So, should Insurtech stick to purely technology and provide that as a service to the intermediary or distribution fraternity, or it's okay for them to do? What's your take on that?
Sure. So fundamentally, unless and until when you're starting a company, definitely there is a business model around it. When that business model is getting hampered, when I started with an expectation of having let's say a software as a service company, but if that is getting trimmed to just for work for hire, and I know my capabilities are much beyond just doing that on a manly and on a hourly manner perspective, and that is where at times, which at least the companies which I know, Insurity and others, where there has been a shift of how the thing started and how they're moving ahead, or Cover Fox turning into an ACO. These are the changes which happened because of the support which was missing. So ultimately, what has happened that the companies who took that leap of faith are the ones who have clearly been into the space, and the ones where they're not able to get support are pretty much still there. So if an ecosystem play is missing out in the space, I'm very sure that the bright minds would change the way, and they'll take something which is and they'll not let the pie getting wasted. So that's not only on the one side of this table, but it's also on the other side of the table how we are treating the players who are offering these pieces.
My question is to you. You have mentioned OPD.
Right, sir.
What is the OPD service? Are you providing OPD insurance? Are you providing a cover? What was that?
So as a company, we handle the entire OPD benefits management. Obviously, we are not an underwriter, so we don't provide the quote and we provide the pricing. We provide technology, network, and the assistance to the insurers for running an OPD insurance service.
You are providing to which insurer who is giving OPD benefit to group
Their customers,
or to
right?
retail?
ICICI Lombard, Star Health, Care Insurance, Aditya Birla, Niva. So we work with close to 18 insurers. And depending on the primary healthcare side, it could be a full-blown OPD wallet, or it could be a small ticket size of health checkups or a teleconsult or just a pharmacy voucher. So anything under the primary healthcare is our forte. So depending on what insurer wishes to offer to their retail policyholders or their corporate clients, they can curate that plan along with us. And we obviously, because of our network procurement strength, which we have of the volumes which we drive in the network, there is a discussion which we support insurers in understanding that how a typical pricing or a utilization would look like, because it's a very 70 to 80% population start using OPD. It's no more a question that whether OPD is needful or not. It is. It's just that whether it is being offered or not. So today, for most of the cases, it's an out-of-pocket expenditure. But now insurers are coming forward and now are creating OPD plans which are also being stitched as an insurance and giving. Earlier, it was just probably a rider over an IPD insurance or a tick box exercise. It was more of a cash management. But now a risk-based OPD insurance is coming into the play. At least for the last 3-4 years, whatever our growth has been is only because of this industry picking up. So these are the some insurers where we operate with, where we work with, and we enable them to go courageously and offer OPD insurance, standalone OPD insurance in the market, and we help them in through our cashless network, technology, controlling the customer experience at our site.
One last question. This is for Shanai. We've been discussing this with Aditya also. Can you just throw light how many insurance companies have onboarded your platform so that this quote management system, what you're offering to, which will help brokers? Can you just throw light on that?
Yes, sir. So we are integrating. So with ICICI, for example, we're taking their APIs. So through our platform, the RFQs will be sent to ICICI through APIs. We're also working with Future Generali and a couple of other insurers, but we've not signed, we're at extremely last stage of negotiation, so I can't reveal their names, but we're in the process.
Last question, please.
Sorry, I may sound a little bit conservative, but the thing is that you are talking about our business model, pivoting, everything like that. But where is the customer? The thing is that in name of experimentation, we have started finding finance company offering medical insurance. If you go down deep, then you find that this finance company is having in back there some insurance company offering some solution. After 2 years, the business model will fail, and that particular customer will be having no support system. Like in banca insurance channel, banca insurance starts selling health insurance at very dirt cheap rate. After 3 years, the tie-up is changing, and that particular customer is having no solution. So where is the customer in the whole value chain? That's my concern. As an old man, now I'm 33-year-old in insurance sector.
Sir, I think the regulator knows this. Okay, I think from a regulation standpoint as well, I think there have been instances of catching them young and kind of milking them currently and stuff. I think we don't subscribe to those philosophies in that sense. Having said that, by regulation, if you are having a client with a certain policy, he has to be given even if he's out of that group or he's been given that policy. So renewability is for life. So I don't think so.
It's not happening, sir. This is hard for you.
So it is, I'll tell you the way.
Premium is going up to 60,000.
Sir,
Is it a renewability?
Sir, we are able to maintain a good persistence in that
I'm
sense.
not talking about any particular company, neither any insurance. The question is, where is the customer in the whole value chain? They
I
are
think
the
that's-
most vulnerable now. Everyone talks of customer centricity, but the fact is that we are the person who are at the receiving it at the end of the value chain.
I think the only thing is that again, as I said, trust. I mean, you need to kind of look at companies who believe in that philosophy of continuity in that sense. So if you are dealing with an insurer who's not in the belief that continuity is important, then it's like a 1 year, 2 year profitability game for that. So there are obvious economics there, right? So I don't think so. It is a mix and match between the philosophies in terms of short term and long term. I think for us, long term is the, shall I say, way forward. But I'm not trying to say that's not prevalent. I think industry has to evolve.
No, if I may add to what he said and answer to your question also, I think the 4 panelists here are not into selling insurance in any way. They are enabling insurers and intermediaries. As I said, they are user agnostic. So they are not into sales. The examples which you gave and which I also mentioned in the morning are the ones who did not have a proper existence in the sense that there were some doubtful measures taken in the market. Their methods were not sound. So that is where the crash came in. And having said that, yes, customers do suffer, etc. But the customer is also to blame. Equally, I will say that because sometimes what happens is the customer wants the cheapest price, widest coverage, installment payments. he goes and jumps there. Right? So I think we need to make that distinction. So we had this discussion internally, and when we say that IBAI means we support these sort of insurtechs who are not into distribution by doubtful methods, but who are into enabling better distribution, better servicing of products to both customers and to the brokers. So as you see, All Right is doing in the commercial space, IMT Care is doing in this health space. So that is the sort of thing. So anyway, now I think we are run out of time, absolutely run out of time. So now I must thank all the panelists and
Thank you, Bala, sir.
our friend Indranil also for making such an exciting thing. And may I request our director Venkatesh Naidu to present a small memento to each of the panelists.
हमारे लोगों को भी दे देते थे क्या प्रॉब्लम है, उन्होंने काम किया था, अभिजीत को किया था।